That's on me.
Too late.
There's no window. Oh, is it just this one? There's an oil rig.
Slow deck, deck 10.
Right.
No bit of that.
Foggy bar, but it's quite down.
Yeah, no. fan. Something will fall
And
down.
the trip hazard. We're filming each other.
Yeah.
You need to use another camera as well.
This is on my bucket. There's a project on the fjords, get photographs and that. And I always said one day I'm going to go there. And that's
Look at this.
Mm.
Did that. I think it only accommodates 2 people.
That's it.
No.
Where is it? Hey?
Still with the boat.
Yeah. Too dark.
The black bit.
Yeah.
Welcome to Olden Sightseeing. This excursion will last for 1 hour and 10 minutes approximately, and we will offer you a round trip to the Lake of Olden and back to the ship. On our way back, the train will stop in the center of the village, going off and on before going back to the ship. Years ago, this quay was the center of Olden, when the steamers from Bergen came alongside the quay. You have already seen the farms on the hillsides of the village. 100 years ago, a farmer could provide food for approximately 5 cows and 20 sheep, and agriculture was the main way of living. Today, it's quite impossible to live only by having these animals. The farmer has to have a secondary income. When the first cars came to Norway, it became evident that roads had to be built, and a new way of living came into being: road building. A typical stone bridge built in 1860 will be presented to you on this excursion. The village of Olden is located at the end of one of the most beautiful fjords of Norway. The name of the fjord is Norway, and the fjord stretches itself 120 kilometers from the western coast into the country. Finally, the fjord divides itself into 3 arms: the Bay of Bryn, the Bay of Loen, and finally the Bay of Olden. The name of the municipality is Stryn, with approximately 7,000 inhabitants. In this village we have 600 in the center and 400 more in the valley. Every summer, thousands of tourists come to this village to have a look at the nature and the enormous glacier at the end of the valley, the Stjolden glacier. 500 square kilometers, the largest glacier in the mainland of Europe. The plateau of the glacier is located 1,700 meters above sea level and stretches the 4 arms through the valleys down below. And the most famous of them is no doubt the Stjolden glacier at the end of this valley. Being at the top of the glacier is an experience which never will be forgotten, but only trained people will be advised to get out to the huge wide table at the same altitude as the summits of the mountains. In the center of the municipality, the village of Stryn, we have a lot of factories, various kinds. At your right-hand side, you can see a wide church. This church is the oldest one in this region. The interior of the church is kept exactly as it was when this church became built in 736. This church is a protected building, and there are no sermons in the church on Sundays. But some families in the village have got their family graveyards here, and sometimes funerals take place here. About 40 years, I attended a funeral ceremony in this church. It was in January. Temperature was 30 degrees below 0, and inside the church the temperature was approximately similar. It was a very cold experience. There was no way of heating the church, no electricity, and no furnace to heat the church with wood. And the breath of the people condensed immediately, and small clouds were floating in the air above the bald skulls of the old man sitting in the church. The light was provided by 3 candles standing on the coffin. The speech delivered by the priest was not understandable because his teeth were shivering, and the only creature who was not on the point of freezing to death was the body in the coffin. Approximately 1 kilometer further ahead, we will find the new church of Olden. When the train is passing by the church, you will see that the church is tied to the ground with 2 iron wires on each side. The church is standing in the middle of the valley, and in winter time, when the northern winds blow out, the church is exposed to enormous wind forces. Some days before Christmas in 1974, there was a concert performed by the local choir and the brass band in the village in this church. During the concert, the inside walls of the church began shivering. The electric light fell out. Everything got black. Only the terrible creaking in the walls was to be heard. The priest, feeling a certain responsibility for his congregation, shouted out at top of his voice, "Out immediately! The church is going to fall down." And according to reliable sources, the priest was the first one out. But the church didn't fall down. But in order to be sure, these wires were attached to the tower and bolted in the ground. Olderheim is the name of the village hall. Here the inhabitants assemble on festive occasions. On the left-hand side of the village hall, a huge waterfall is coming dancing downwards from the glacier that surrounds the valley. The quality of this water is excellent for drinking water, and it is the water source for the village. Water pipe will lead the water through an ultraviolet cleaning station to the village. Also, the tourist ships will get their water supply from this waterfall. On the right-hand side, we have the Olden River, which comes from the Olden Lake and have its outlet in the fjord. All at the riverbanks, we can see the platforms on which the salmon fishers are walking with their fishing rods. Usually, the man will use a tin bait in various colors depending on the weather. The artists, they use an artificial fly. They will keep the fly flying in the air until a salmon is observed in the river, and the fly will be landed exactly in front of the mouth of the salmon, and the struggle between fishermen and the salmon begins. Skjolden is the name of this waterfall. At the bottom of the waterfall, the first hydroelectric power station was built here in 1915. This is the first hydroelectric power station ever built in this district. Originally, the station only provided the center of Olden with electric current, but now the station is attached to the national net. There is no salmon passage here in this waterfall, and the salmons are unable to jump up to the outlet of the lake, so there are no salmons in the lake, but there are trout in abundances. To get the trout, we usually use a fishing equipment, which is called the otter. The other is a wooden bread with lead at one side so that the bread will float vertically on the surface. Between the bread and the rowing boat there is a line, and on the line there are artificial flies. When the boat is moving across the surface, these flies will be dancing on the surface. And when the crowd can see these flies, they will jump out to snatch the flies. And this is, as usual, their last meal. On a hill approximately 400 meters above lake level, some houses will be seen at your right-hand side in some minutes. This is not a farm, but a setter. A setter is a place where the farmer used to have his cows during the summer. When the barn was empty and the farmer had no more food for his cows, they were let out and taken up to the setter, where they could find the best grass available. Every evening the farmer's wife had to walk up to the setter and get the cows into the cow stable where they got milked. The next morning she had to do just the same work and carry the milk in a container on her back down to the farm. It was also her duty to frighten wild animals that frequented the setter in the night to get a steer cow. For this purpose, she used a trumpet made of the bark of birch. When she could hear the bear, she opened the window and blew a terrible sound to the night, and the bear would get frightened and escape into the wood. Today it is quite impossible to find women who is willing to do this kind of work. All the setters are abandoned, and the farmers prefers having cows in a pasture land not very far from the house. When we can see the setter, we will stop for 10 minutes and you may go out and take some pictures if you want.
Hey?
Smell the countryside.
Wow. Wow.
Yes, of course.
Very good.
The valley. To avoid the damage caused by inundation, the outlet of the lake into this river was lowered with 2 meters in 1940. Up to 1950, tourists were transported in horse carriages across that stony bridge to the quay of the steamer on this moraine. Then the tourists would be seated in 3 large boats which became tugged by a steamer end of the lake. And the captain of that steamer, he is the father of the owner of this train. In 1950, the road was finished and the steamer was no more used.
raining a little bit.
You know. They're going over there. Yeah, be careful with it. We'll come in there.
There'll be a better view of it as we're walking along.
Yeah.
Take your selfie.
He does it, he said, I don't know, he said 4 to 6 weeks at least.
It could clear up in a week.
It could have cleared up in a week, yeah.
So, Mu. Komm. Komm. Komm mit Mitte.
Ist gut gegangen?
Zusammen soll in die Mitte. Mal, das ist trockene Typ.
Okay,
it's fine. Thank you very much. Thank you. Thank you.
Er ruft dich aus dem Fest und das ist mit 10 ungefähr.
That's great. Thanks a lot.
Ich habe schon 30
Nordkap, 1500 Kilometer. Ja, wir sind nicht schnell gewesen, so.
Ja, Nordkap 15 Uhr.
Right. Seeing it, let's give so much thanks.
this mat in your front pocket there? You've got to tuck it. No, the other pocket. Just trying to salvage my mat from getting more. Stop it. There's a stop it. Put that in some blue bag tomorrow. Well, that's not going to help, is it? Don't have a picture with the troll.
Well, be careful.
Sunny patch over there. That's what the square was.
Yeah, you'd probably be safe from up here as soon as we're gone.
Yeah.